What if the story you've believed for decades about JFK isn't the whole truth? Newly released files are shining a light on CIA secrets, revealing questionable ties between key figures and challenging the single bullet theory once and for all. Let's dive into these explosive documents and why they matter more than ever. First things first, over 1,100 CIA-related documents have been made available, with estimates of up to 80,000 pages in total. These come straight from the National Archives and trace back to intelligence gatherings, memos, and cables from the 1960s. The release follows an executive order initiated by former President Trump, who pushed to make every remaining JFK file public, though some redactions still appear in certain documents. Here's where it gets interesting. Much of the content revolves around CIA operations, including something called Operation Mongoose, essentially a clandestine campaign aimed at destabilizing and potentially assassinating Fidel Castro. The documents detail collaboration with mafia figures, the distribution of poison pills, and other covert tactics that seem straight out of a spy thriller. According to a New York Times piece, the material is scattered, sometimes blurry, and not fully organized. Historians say it might take days, if not weeks, to sift through all of it and understand the full scope. They also note that 99% of the government's JFK-related records were already public. So the real treasure lies in those tiny details or redacted names that are finally being revealed. One of the most eye-opening claims is that, according to a CIA memo, Jack Ruby, yes, the man who shot and killed Harvey Oswald, may have been spotted with Oswald in a nightclub just weeks before the assassination. If true, it suggests a deeper relationship between the two than previously acknowledged, fueling questions about Oswald's motives and possible accomplices. New evidence also reignites the debate over the infamous single bullet theory. The Warren Commission's explanation that a single projectile caused multiple wounds to both JFK and Texas Governor John Connally. Now, a former Secret Service agent named Paul Landis says he discovered a bullet in the presidential limousine near where JFK sat, hinting that the bullet never passed through the president into Connally. If this holds up, it implies multiple shooters. Many of these files dig into how deeply the CIA was enmeshed with anti-Castro exile groups in Miami and intelligence operations in Mexico City. Could Oswald have been on the CIA's radar well before November 22, 1963? These documents suggest that at the very least, the agency was aware of his movements, and possibly even more involved than they let on. For decades, eyewitness testimony, ballistics data, and conflicting timelines have cast doubts on the lone gunman claim. With these new files, the speculation is only growing. If the single bullet theory is debunked, the logical conclusion is that Oswald wasn't acting alone, and that a broader conspiracy may have been at play. Let's be clear. There's a fine line between a legitimate, evidence-backed investigation and wild conspiracy theories. Researchers like Jefferson Morley or organizations like the Mary Farrell Foundation rely on verifiable documents, not rumors. The question is no longer whether a conspiracy is possible, but rather who else might be involved, and what, if anything, government agencies might have known. When you come across a bombshell claim, such as the CIA conspiring with mobsters, always ask, where's the document? Who's the source? Reputable researchers will usually provide scans or specific references to the archive. Historians, investigative journalists, and academic institutions with a track record of honest work can help decipher coded names, chronological inconsistencies, and complex intelligence operations. They'll cite documents, not rely solely on speculation. It's healthy to be skeptical of official narratives and question the gaps in the story, but remember to keep your feet on the ground. True revelations come from verifiable evidence, not unsubstantiated leaps. Experts say this may not be the final release. Government agencies still hold additional records. There's speculation that ongoing legal battles might force yet another wave of disclosures, possibly covering the assassinations of Robert F. Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., which have also been a part of recent executive orders. In the coming weeks, researchers will be poring over every page, comparing these documents against older files, looking for names, code names, and potential connections. Expect more revelations, or at least clarifications, to surface. If you're interested in reading them yourself, they're slowly appearing online through the National Archives and resources like the Mary Farrell Foundation. So, do these latest documents prove a massive conspiracy, or just fill in some blanks about Cold War-era intelligence? Time will tell, but one thing is clear. Nearly 60 years after John F. Kennedy's death, the quest for answers is far from over. If you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for future updates. Share your thoughts or theories in the comments. Do you think these files will finally change the narrative, or is it too little, too late? Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more deep dives into history's most enduring mysteries.